All right, well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to episode number 86 of my weekly GEMP game review series, mostly weekly. I am your host, Chris Gogolin. Thank you for joining us this lovely Monday evening, June 15th. So we're halfway through June. We'll take a look at the old OCS leaderboard, check out the standings, and see what's going on there. And then we'll pop into some of these live games and see what's going on. I don't have any game links to review tonight. A couple people did send them to me, but I haven't really had a chance to look at them at all and even see what the matchups and stuff are to see if it's stuff we've done before or whatnot. Been a very busy last few couple of weeks, thanks to some major upgrades, well, major inventory upgrades to the old PC store. It's pretty much consumed every free minute I've had. And I've tried to squeeze some of my own OCS games in, and I don't like making excuses. I lost. I played stupid. I lost. Um, but that's my own fault for trying to multitask and do PC store stuff while playing. But yeah, that's my own fault, and I'm not knocking my opponents or taking anything away from them. They played well, or got really lucky and had Leia V in their opening hands. Um, but yeah, so let's look at the let's check out the OCS leaderboard and we'll go from there. So let's see where we're at. All right, so we're halfway through the month. Here we are down here in June. Seems like I'm lagging a little bit today. All right, not a lot of people have finished their game so far. All right, so Stubley and Myers are both 10 and 2, sitting on top of the leaderboard right now. Paul, once again, still kind of sitting on the outside looking in second place. He's got a couple points of differential here to make up to move, Stubley either way. Maybe drop a little bit or move up a little bit. But here's the thing that's going to really throw a monkey wrench in the whole thing. Steve Baroni sitting there at 9-0 with a nice 48% win percentage right now. So Steve basically just needs to win one of his next 3 games, of his final 3 games. That would put him at 10 and 2 with a higher differential that would pop above both these guys. Obviously, he controls his own destiny at this point. Going 11 and 1 or 12 and 0, probably going to get the job. 12 and 0 is going to get the job done. Let's not kid ourselves there. 11 and 1, probably also going to get the job done, especially with the win percentage that high. If his win percentage was 28%, 11 and 1, you're never quite sure where that's going to play out. But sitting at 48% right now is pretty good. But a lot of people still have a lot of games left to play. We've got a few other people who have finished their 12. A couple people, Echo Base Troopers right here again. This is 7 and 1. I caught part of a game the other night. He was 6 and 1, and he was playing Dylan, who was 7 and 1. And it looks like he won that game because now he's 7 and 1. And it looks like Dylan dropped his final couple of games to finish. What's that? 8 and 4. Dylan beat me earlier in the month with his Rebel Strike Team deck. Pretty solid deck. Always a good, always a fun time with the Rebel Strike Team, right? Not a deck we get to see a whole lot, so always nice to see some diversity. We like seeing light side diversity. We don't like seeing the same throne room over and 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 over. Whew. But yeah, so Echo, this is Adam, is in a pretty good spot here at 7 and 1. He also could control his own destiny. You got Werf's. This is 6 and no, this is 5 and 4. Okay. And then a couple other guys down here, 18 points with 8 games. Yeah, still, these guys still have a lot of games left to play. Justin here at 4 and 1 again, off to another good start. Vikram starting at 4 and 0. Got a long way to go, but that's obviously 4 and 0 is a great start. Certainly able to make a move there. And then you got a bunch of other guys down here at 2 and 2 or so or less. Still a lot of people who haven't even started playing their games yet. I know as we get into the the summer months, most of us are starting to get to that point where they think we're going to start being able to go back outside again, and places are starting to reopen in phases over the next few weeks. Um, so that's going to be something people are going to be looking forward to, getting outside, doing lots of things, enjoying the weather, and I have a feeling like that's going to it always has a little bit of a dip in OCS gameplay. Not to mention the current Jawa Brawl event that's also going on. So this is through the end of the month. Still got JJ sitting at 12-0 and Jared at 11-1. Ryder could also get to 11-1 if he wins his last game. And we got a 10-2 and a couple of 8-4s and stuff sitting up here. So this event wraps up in about 2 weeks as well. So be sure to get your games in for that. I don't know what kind of prize support they have for said event, but I know the last one they gave out some Jawa foils and whatnot, so it could be doing something like that again. Um, but yeah, OCS games are going to get a little harder to come by these last 2 months, so getting your games in as early as possible in the month probably going to be critical, and then continuing that on, especially if you're trying to stay in the running for uh, the at-large bids, if any of those do get created. I mean, we've got two right now. If any additional ones get created, but that's where we're at with the OCS. So get your games in. There's still plenty of stuff to play. I do know I did see they did a restart to load some playtesting cards. So those first wave of cards have started to creep up here on GEMP. And I don't know what a release date or timeline is for that. I would guess if World is going to be in early October, tentatively, still scheduled for that. If there were going to be any of those cards, uh, they'd have to be out by September 1st um, to be in time for that. I don't know what that would do with the European Championship because I forget when that is, but I think that's the early. Let's go take a look. They are planning on hosting that event live in its usual place. That's September 11th. So um, I don't know if cards were released in early September. Maybe they won't be legal for the European Championship, and then maybe not for the main event. Maybe they'll just maybe you can play them on Sunday in like the consolation event or something. I don't know. We'll see how things timeline out. But if the World Championship is here a month later, you could release the cards the Monday after. Probably would be the latest you could do it. If you had a spoiler list or something up, maybe right around this time, people could talk about it at the European Championship. And again, I'm just talking about timelines. I don't control design or development in any way, shape, or form anymore. I have no input whatsoever, other than the fact that I am a playtester. So I'm one of the many playtesters we do have now. Thank you to everybody who's joined that team. Um, but yeah, that's I don't control that. But going off past releases and past performances, if Worlds is here Monday the 14th after the European Championship would be the latest day you could release stuff in order to really give people a month to get adjusted to it and prepare. So it wouldn't surprise me to see that kind of timeline. Maybe release a spoiler list or something the weekend of or weekend before, so the players in Europe could at least chat about the cards while they're all hanging out together in the bar, having some drinks, having a lot of drinks, having a lot more drinks. Um, and that would seem to make sense. If cards are starting to get play tested now, you figure they need 6 to 8 weeks of solid testing and phases and make revisions and adjustments. That puts us into late August. Cards got to go to proofing, fine tune the text. Graphics has to step in and do their part. So that would be my guess for when the cards that, the set 13 that we heard from Gasa talking about on the Hollow Theater show a couple weeks back, um, when all that might come to fruition. But otherwise, there's not a lot going on in the forums. People are in, there's lots of games being played. We like that. Um, Certainly plenty of different formats going on. But yeah, the Jawa's the big format right now. And what the heck? Let's hop into this game here. Because this seems Tig, not a deck we get to see too often, taking on a Dagobah Cave start using Slip Sliding Away. Just going to step over here for 1 second and refresh, just to make sure I can see any comments or feedback. Oh, okay. Let's back up here for a second. So, what did we just have here? PMJ is light side. Luke is captured. He dropped Obi to the docking bay. He dropped Draw Their Fire. He initiated battle. Obi swung at Vader and whiffed. Maul swung back twice and missed both times. Vader swung and missed. Jeez. 4 lightsaber swings. Nobody hit anybody. And he drew Qui-Gon for Destiny. Joker King drew Vader's Anger, outpowered him by 12. He lost Obi and played a Hujix to prevent 4 additional force loss. And now Pat's just going to draw a couple of cards here. PMJ, the Match Play Championship Constellation Event bracket winner, taking down Dan Tartaglione a couple of weeks back. And Joker King, a fan of the show, who sometimes pops in and out of the chat. So we got Maul and Vader with Luke captured, chilling at the docking bay, draining for 1. This seems like a pretty good time to for Joker King to just kind of reload his hand here. You don't want to overcommit anything else to that site. I mean, Maul and Vader should be able to lock things down. Obviously, we think Pat, the way he swung at Vader first, makes me think he's got a sorry about the mess. Usually that's the thing you do. I mean, obviously, he could just be trying to just make sure that Vader leaves and not Maul. But if you have the sorry about the mess, you swing, you get Luke back. Then Luke's text kicks in to make him have to pay. If he doesn't have any force save, now Maul can't swing back. Then Luke can swing at Maul and hit him, and then you can cause a big overflow. It does all rely around either having a clash or sorry about the mess once you hit Vader to get him out of the battle. But yeah, if you're Joker King in this situation, he drained for free because no one pulled the shield. He's going to get Mustafar out of his deck to get the extra force generation, and you're probably just going to draw phase and reloading your hand, and that's what he's doing here. He's looking for, you're going to look for some defensive interrupts, things like force field or Imperial Barrier, that will help protect these guys and keep them from getting eliminated. Maybe something like a You Are Beaten of your own, or I Have You Now, or a type of other Destiny adder, or Maul Strikes maybe. And if he doesn't have all his activation out, he's got the castle, he's got the bridge out. Looks like he's also going to go get the security tower. So lots of 2-0s. Lots of 2-0s in this deck. It's basically a dark side of throne room. You start a battleground site. Well, you start the 2-0 and you pull your battleground site. And then we're getting Kuat to get you your battleground system. So you've got your 2 battlegrounds on the table, 1 for each type of location, and then 2-0, 2-0, 2-0, and security tower maybe it's for another 2-0. I don't know whether or not he'll be running the downtown plaza as well to give him a second battleground site where he can drain for 2 at. Probably not. Probably don't need it. This is a deck that's really just going to win by battling. taking on a deck that also wants to kind of win by battling. You don't hear about all those great TIG force drains, but TIG is at least an objective that does not have character restrictions. So as we see the EPP Ray that was lost, that's sitting in the force pile. We saw him draw EPP Qui-Gon earlier for Destiny. So no character restrictions the way like Hitco does, where you're limited on the Jedis and stuff that you can play. And he does save a couple of force as well. Alright, Obi number 2. Obi's going to try again. See whether or not Joker King picked up anything that will help him out here. Would not surprise me to see a second character coming down from Pat. Whether it's Ray with lightsaber also. I was thinking more like a Chewie with bowcaster kind of thing, but sure. Another guy with a lightsaber is much better than that. Not much better. A little bit better. Coward is out, so there'll be no retrieval from Draw Their Fire. There'll be no retrieval from Ray if she hits either. But Joker King does still have to lose one, and he's going to lose Qui-Gold. It's a guy we don't see too often. Well, on Misdemeanor's defense value +2, forfeit +2, and present with that guy. If your rep is a pirate or you did not deploy an objective, force drain +1 here. So it's just a character who's a good pilot, who's got a terrible deploy forfeit ratio, but good Destiny when you draw him for Destiny. Basically just makes it a drain +1. Alright, so there's Ray swinging at Vader. There's the force field, so that was good. Good pickup when Joker King drew last turn, picks up the force field. If he has any other types of interrupts, he's going to swing at Obi and try and take him out of the battle with a sniper or anything. And see, he drew the "You Are Beaten" for Battle Destiny. All right. So that's going to hit Obi. Does he have a second, or does he have a sniper or anything? Nope. All right, so Obi's going to get to swing back at Vader. Yeah, some type of Lana Dobreed would also be pretty huge here. Dark Time to subtract one would also be pretty huge, but no joy. All right, so Vader's going to get hit, and now we find out if Pat has anything. At this point, you almost wondered if he would even want to play it. He is going to play it, but let's walk through it here. So you know at the end of the battle, Maul's going to have to die to attrition anyway, and the site would basically be cleared, and then Luke is free. And then your opponent would have the opportunity to come back and counter with the 8 cards in his hand. By releasing Luke in the middle of the battle like this, Maul saved 2 force. Maul can hit him right now, and now Maul can clear the whole site again. Now the flip side of that, of course, is you've got a huge power bump, and if he doesn't have a Gick, and Luke can hit Maul, with the Phantom Menace out, but adding +1, 50-50 on that one. We've seen a miss earlier. He should be able to, but if he doesn't hit Maul, Maul missed. Does he have a Sith Fury to redraw Dr. E? He does have the Sith Fury. He does have to do that because 7's going to miss. So. Oh, and he's going to miss still. But, yeah, if Maul gets hit, it's 10 overflow at minimum you're looking at here. So obviously it's a big swing power-wise. If your opponent has any type of Gick, then it's kind of it doesn't work out as well. You kind of have to go for it anyway, though, as we talk it through, because it's kind of game ending right here. And it is early enough in the game. If you haven't seen your opponent play like a masterful move to take the Gick into hand or anything, then this is definitely the right play. If you know you're not going to get overflow because he has the Gick, it's almost worth letting Luke, like letting this stay. Everybody clears, and you just kind of reset and get to keep Luke. I think would probably be the better way to go. Maul is immune from the Phantom Menace. Yeah. Well, he spent all his force now with Draw Their Fire out to swing. So if he had the Gick, he wouldn't. You wouldn't swing the second time. So now we're in a situation where we know he doesn't have the Gick because Draw Their Fire's out. He can't play it. So he's going to be peeling 10 cards here. Yeah. Or also not played the Sith Fury. Yeah. He would have played things differently if he had had the Gick in hand. Obviously, by doing the things he did with Draw Their Fire and spending force and Sith Furying and whatnot, this whole thing plays out differently. So Obi's going to die. Rey's going to die. Luke will live to fight another day. Maul's going to go lost. Phantom Menace will go used. And Joker King will peel 10 cards. Yep, thanks, guys. Obviously, there's a whole different set of ways that those turns can play out depending on the cards in your hand. Would Draw Their Fire in play. So he's going to peel 10 cards. There goes a Maul, a Balatic, a Mara Jade. There goes the Misan Martinet. Slave 1, so now he's peeling a bunch of ships and guys. Sniper. Short range combo. Second short range combo. A third short range combo. Wow, 3 5s in a row. 3 short range combos in a row. And another Sith Fury. So Lightside wins the day in the battle at the Endor docking bay. But curiously, well, not curiously enough, Joker King does not lose any cards from hand. So he's got 8 cards left in hand. He's going to activate 13. And he's going to grab Boba Fett V. We saw Slave 1 go by. So Fett not going necessarily to space, but he is another character. He does Add a Destiny with Vader. And he, just gets a character and gets a 1 out of the deck. And cycles back a double back, which is at least a 3. And PMJ is going to run Luke back to the hut. So no opportunity for a counter. Well, a small opportunity for a counter. But he would need either the presence of the Force that he drew for Destiny to drop it on the hut, and then send guys after Luke, or a spy would be the only ways to get there. I guess you could Ellis too. Maul's going to reclaim the docking bay. That would be the third Maul we've seen, because one went off the top in the 10 overflow. And he's going to accelerate for an interrupt. So we'll grab another accelerate and just kind of verify his reserve deck and put us 5, 11 cards down. So if he keeps track of that number, he'll know where at least he has a 5, which gives him a pretty good chance of hitting Luke or any other character that may show up at the landing platform. And he's going to save that 4 force. We mentioned Ellis earlier, of course. Neighborn being the flip side. There's some dark side decks, but not a lot of dark side decks run Imperial Arrest Order. Obviously Throne Room is a big one for light side, running docking bays. Occasionally you see Hitco, Throne Room, light side mains decks, if you will. Um, all right, we got a Luke and a Leia sighting. I'm sorry, Leia and a Lando sighting. Still won't be able to retrieve because of Coward, but Lando can battle and clear Maul. Leia's going to get her gun. Oh, I'll be right back. I hear the oven timer going off. All right. Okay, so while I was away, Lando battled. Lando got hit. Lando got "You are beaten." So Maul will live. So he's playing 2 "You are beatens because he drew one for Destiny earlier. That may have been the turn before. But whether he's playing 1 or 2, we don't know. Certainly in a deck with multiple EPPs between Maul, Vader, and Mara that we saw. Reasonable card. Light side gets away with Clash pretty easily. And, his dark side was running Crush the Rebellion. There aren't really as good of counters to "You are beaten." Weapon Lev, I think, cancels "You are beaten" for light side. But it's interrupt, not effect based, so it's a little harder. Strike blocked, I think, also gets it. And now that Pat's plans have not worked out as he hoped, he'll just draw up a few cards, and he's going to have to leave his guys camped out where they are. That certainly was one of the risks with playing Tig, is putting characters with Luke. You don't want to leave him by himself, because obviously then someone who's not an Imperial, like Maul, can come down and you can get into a pretty gruesome battle. Other characters Alien characters, Doctor E and Boba Fett, and then you've got Grievous and Sidious and Dooku, non-Imperials that can certainly add to the power overflow possibilities. Vehicles as well, Blizzard 4 and stuff like that. That can also really up the power. Maul Blizzard 4 and then don't pull a guy or whatever. Could be very problematic. Maul Dr. E, certainly. Capture Luke, hit whoever else. If you're wondering why he didn't just like, oh, I'll move these guys over and hang out with Lando, uh, this would be exactly why. You know, drop any Imperial, capture Luke, drop Dr. E, swing, hit Leia, take her out of the battle, and then it's three guys beating the crap out of Lando, who's probably also going to get hit again and be forfeit 0. So, Joker King took the overflow, and he's certainly down on cards, but he's the only one doing damage right now. Granted, it's only one damage at a time, and still got a long way to go. This is going to be a situation that's going to come down to deck construction in terms of what Pat's looking for and what he can do next. If he has something like Neighborin, obviously finding that, and then you can just Neighborin these guys out of here, or even the Odin combo, because as long as you move to a battleground, that would be beneficial. Get them out of here, get them away from these guys, go all the way over here, um, and then you're actually out damaging your opponent 2-1. He already lost a couple of ships. He lost the Mesa Martinet. He lost Slave 1. Um, he lost all his short range fighter combos. If light side's running anything like a Tanev and a couple pilots, setting up a drain at Mustafar might be a good way to go. At least to start doing some damage and working into this lead. He's got a 36 to 1829, so he's got a 7-card advantage right now. Those would be different angles that each player could take. In their current predicaments. Let's go big screen for a minute. Actually, let's not. Let's see if there's anything else opening up in the lobby. So as you saw, playtesting games have just started. Okay, well these guys are going to kind of be dragging this along for a little bit. Let's pop over to this Boon to Eve game for a second, because I'm curious to see when it says light side other. And it's Corran, so it makes you wonder what bad deck is Kendall playing this time. For those of you who don't know, Corran, aka Kendall, runs the Bad Deck Breakdown podcasts. Gungans. Okay. That's not something we've seen in a while, so let's walk through how some of these cards work. He's taking on a Bring 'em Before Me. Looks like an SSA start with the third marker. Luke is captive. Ahsoka's going to go basically get hit. Because this, Lord Vader here adds one to each of his weapon destiny draws, and then the text on the third marker adds one to each of your weapon destiny draws. So Lord Vader here, he's adding 4 to the total. So you'd have to draw incredibly low. You have to draw 2 ones basically to miss any character. We got Ahsoka, we got Lando, but Gungans. So Boss Nass Chamber once per game takes Boss Nass into hand. Boss Nass, once he has Battle Destinies and Sights at Naboo, but the important part here for the activation chain is once during your deploy phase, you can deploy a Gungan or Steady Steady from reserve deck. So you get this guy, Rep Bean, who deploys -1 to an underwater site, and while he's at the Boss Nass chamber, your force generation here is +1 for each Gungan present. And once per game, he can take an underwater site into hand from reserve deck. So he deploys for 0. You pull him with Boss Nass, and then he adds to your activation for each Gungan present. So him and Boss Nass, you add +2, and he also gets you this site, the entrance. Your Gungans deploy -1 here and move 2 here for free. You can't force drain. And then cards with ability deploy +4 to underwater sites. So if they want to come after you with spies, it's going to be very expensive for them to do that, and the site's immune to revolution, so you can't flip it around. This affects both players, cards with ability. So if they were to try and put anybody else there as well. But it's a 2-0 kind of start that pulls itself into a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You put a couple cards on the table right away, but you up your activation kind of decently, and then you get to play some other tricks with. You could be playing some other tricks with Rebel leaderships and Gungan generals and Fombas and Steady Steadies and that kind of stuff. The Gungan energy shield, not Steady Steady. All right, so Butter here is going to battle, and Ahsoka's going to be excluded. Should have pulled the weapons display shield. He would have caused 2 force loss there. We've all made that mistake before, so no worries. 12 card JCC Gungan. So we started this and then played like 5 Whis, right? To pull the Boss Nass chamber. Yeah. That would make the most sense to do it that way. So you start this 3-0, and then you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So it's basically an 8-0 start, all with cards you're essentially pulling from your reserve deck if you find one interrupt that you run 5 to 6 copies of. Alright, so Vader's going to swing and crush somebody in the face. That was Lando, and he will now lose a force. Because of I am your father. That's what Vader does when people get hit. He's going to use the Emperor's power here. Once per turn, lose the effect or the top card of your reserve deck to add a Battle Destiny anywhere. So he's going to add a Battle Destiny here. So now they're both getting 2 Battle Destiny draws. Vader's only immune to less than 6. So he's hoping light side draws low. Otherwise, Vader's going to have to go, and then Luke's going to get released. And Corran's got a Jedi Lev to pick up his Poe, which Butter will grab. I keep thinking of Butters from South Park every time I see that screen name. Oof. Well, it works. as he redraws into a 6 total, which is just enough to get rid of Lord Vader. As Blizzard 4 is only forfeit for 5. Darkside gets a 7 total. It's going to put them to 22. So they are up by 8. They win a battle, forcing Corran to stack a card. And then Corran Horn is going to cover 5. So he's going to have to take 3 additional overflow in addition to the 1 card he stacked and the card that he had to lose for Vader hitting somebody. Luke will get released, and it will be Luke and Ahsoka. All right, he's going to lose them all. Okay. I was going to be Luke and Ahsoka taking on Blizzard 4. It would be Darkside's turn because this is Lightside's battle, so Darkside could, back that up however they want it to. But it looks like he's perhaps not happy with his card choices in his hand, what he has available. So he's just going to cut his losses. And Corran's going to Hoojix the 3 damage. This early in the game, I probably would not have done that. It's a little early to be playing a Hoojix. You've got 37 cards left face down in your Life Force. You just drew a couple of them for Battle Destiny. You don't need those Wisas anymore. You could have top decked a Wisa. Maybe you would have had even going into the used pile was an EPP Qui-Gon. Probably have at least 1, if not 2 of those. So especially in a situation like this where Ahsoka's possibly vulnerable. Let's bring him before me here. So anybody who comes down, much like the Tig game we were just watching, Vader comes down and captures Luke. In this case, it's only Vader, as opposed to a Tig where it's any Imperial that can capture him. So it's a little bit of a different setup, different start. He's going to Sith Fury Lost to exchange a Dark Jedi from hand, the Maul he drew for Destiny, to get back the Lord Vader. This is the new lost function of this card. Once per game, you can do the exchange. It used to be like pay 4 force to deploy one from reserve deck or something. Now, I don't know if Butter had this intent all along, because why he would lose Blizzard 4 right now wouldn't make sense to me. Corran already burned the Hoojix. You're going to get a new Vader with a new lightsaber that can hit Ahsoka. He just saw him take I Have You Now into hand, so he can add at least 1 Destiny, plus Emperor's Power to add 1 more. Having 8 more power from Blizzard 4 could certainly be game over in this situation. So I'm not sure why. Maybe he misunderstood how forfeiting those guys would have gone, or didn't think about the Sith Fury play until after he'd already lost to Blizzard 4. I don't know. It could be a couple things there, but obviously that sequence of events is something that you could optimize and play better. He just loses Vader last turn, keeps the Blizzard 4, does the swap, gets the new Vader. He's 15 to 5. He's got a 10 power advantage. If he hits her, makes her forfeit 0, and then I Have You Now plus Emperor's Power for 3 Destiny. Even with Ahsoka making those Battle Destiny draws -1, you're probably still looking at 15 to 18 overflow. And again, at this particular site, adding 2 to each draw, very unlikely to miss. This could be the finale here. going to lose the clash. It's funny, I was just watching that episode of Rebels this week. I've been getting caught up on the show. I just started, I'm into season 3 now. But for those of you who haven't seen the show, I won't spoil anything, but there's, uh, obviously Vader Anakin used to be Anakin, was Ahsoka's mentor, master. There's an interaction between them in the end of season 2 of Rebels. He doesn't add the extra destiny with Emperor's power. That's also curious. You're right. He just draws. I mean, he would have lost the Maul. He would have drawn Boba Fett and Simu and something else. Light side draws a 4, so they're not going to take too much damage here. It's just going to be. He's going to stack a card for losing the battle. He'll lose Ahsoka and just 2. So he kind of gets off easy here. I don't know why he didn't do the Emperor's power. Yeah, I don't know Butter. I don't know. He might be like a returning kind of player, and thinking through some of these actions and trying to remember everything that's going on in all the different places might certainly be something he's still getting used to. But he does have great board control now. He's got Vader setting up, doing a drain of 3. He is losing 1 to his objective because he's flipped. But his opponent has a pretty weak 4-card hand. Doesn't seem all that likely he's going to have a lot of answers for this particular board state, and might just have to take a turn off and just draw. So he started Kuat to pull Mustafar to get the castle to give you an options for getting Vader out and then moving him to your battleground, which he started with slip sliding away. Also running the 2-0 over here, pulled the Emperor for 4 seer. I am your father as his 3rd effect. Also having floating crush to give him options there, and the Maul effect here. Bring him before me certainly did get an uptick from the slip sliding away start. We've seen some variations in build between builds like this, or one's using more of like an EPP Maul setup, or one's just going straight Imperial Domination, or whatever it's called now, where it's just all Imperials. And getting some extra retrievals and things. So he only drains for 2 and doesn't add one with the lightsaber because he's not sure if his opponent has something in hand. If he's thinking of uh, aversions in the Force, I think it's the light side version. That would cap the drain at 1 going forward. So he's going to, maybe he got a verify earlier and got to see that that card was floating around in his opponent's deck. It's not usually a card you just instinctively play around, as it's not a very commonly played card these days. So we got a Tantive with Poe. There's a Jabba Space Cruiser, likely to get, we did see Thrawn earlier, yep. So he'll pull him as a pilot, and again, he can add a Destiny with Emperor's Power, so he could get 2 Destiny there. He's just trying to beat 6 to make sure he gets Poe and the ship. He needs a total of 7 or higher. Obviously, he's going to get that verify when he pulls Thrawn out of the reserve deck to find out what he's got floating around in there, what his chances are of hitting a total of 7, or he's just going to play Cad Bane and Boba Fett Bounty Hunter, and then it's kind of just you're just drawing most of those cards for Destiny. So now he's getting 3 Battle Destiny because he's got Boba Fett with the Bounty Hunter. He can also top deck 1 and make it a 4th Destiny. Probably don't need to do that in this situation because it's unlikely you're going to get overflow. Nobody's forfeit 0, and this Poe and the Tantive forfeit for 13 combined, plus your opponent's getting 2 draws. So adding a 4th Destiny in this situation, highly unlikely to get you any additional force loss unless your whole reserve deck was just like all 7s or something. But if you have a mixed bag of cards like this, it's not worth losing the extra force. He gets 8 total. That will be enough to kill Poe and the Tantive. And his opponent draws 8 as well. So the battle will actually be a tie. So if you want to say that would have been the advantage of drawing the 4th Destiny, perhaps. He would have lost the Nagak War Beast. We don't know what the next 2 cards he would have drawn would have been. But he would have lost a force to make his opponent stack a card and lose a force. A 1-for-1 trade-off, most likely. But Darkside continues its board state advantage. Now he is still losing 1 card a turn to his objective. But no battle plan shield pull at all. You would have thought in a situation like this, Corran, with nobody on the board and not doing any force draining, would have wanted to pull battle plan to make him pay for this drain. With Vader, if he had done that, he would have had 3 less force to spend up here, which certainly would have changed who he could deploy for that battle. He wouldn't have been able. He wouldn't have had enough force to drain and squeeze everything out that he did. Now we've got a Gungan guard. Leader present may not be targeted by weapons. Defending a battle on Naboo gets a big power bump. When you draw a Gungan for Battle Destiny, you can add 3 to it. Requires +2 force to use land speed. Essentially, at this moment, his only value is adding 1 more force activation with Rep Bean. We do see Jar Jar over here as well. Jar Jar deploys without presence. Could have been a possibility to go and like try and kill the Emperor or something, because opponent's characters are deployed +2 to Death Star sites. but it is a good way to get into the throne room sometimes and take out the Emperor if you're so inclined to try that. Kendall's definitely behind here, not causing any damage output, and it's going to take 26 more turns before Butters kills himself. I don't call him Butters. Before he kills himself from his own objective damage. But at the rate he's draining here, he is going to add 1 to the lightsaber this time around and do the drain of 3. He'll also get a drain of 1 in space. A second Jar Jar, a Luke's lightsaber. And Dewisa. Again, he's probably playing 5 or 6 of those, so he's got plenty to spare, and there goes, and it could be worse as well. And now we got Maul and his double-bladed lightsaber, also going down to the 3rd marker. It's going to make that an even bigger drain now, possibly up as high as 5, which would certainly speed things along. I guess whatever card he was afraid of his opponent having, he's no longer afraid of. And again, Maul swinging twice and adding 1 to each of the draws at that particular site. And I believe it says, yeah, weapon destinies may not be modified by opponent, so you can still modify them. And this will certainly speed things up. It kind of makes you wonder what Corran's going to have left up his sleeve. If anything. This is a tough board state to do anything about. Short of having the Famba and the Gungan energy shield, and then, like a neighboring or something to get these guys over here. For those of you not familiar, the Gungan energy shield prevents your characters from being targeted by weapons while there is a Famba there. You can still shoot the Famba if you have anything that targets, creature vehicles, or just vehicles in general. So like P-59 or Dengar could still shoot the Famba. But guys with lightsabers can't really do a whole lot. Meanwhile, Lightside can still swing. Alright, we're going to get a big old bloodbath. You got Obi, and you've got Rey, and we've got a weapon Lev. He's stealing Lord Vader's lightsaber. Okay. Whether he saw that earlier and didn't pull the shield to prevent it, he's saying he's an idiot in chat, so that's a possibility. This weapon, I believe, can't be stolen. Yeah, while on Maul, may not be stolen. Because that's a cool double-bladed lightsaber, and he's the only one who should have that, but other characters seem to pop up with it now. So Obi swings and misses. Now we'll find out If Butters has any defensive cards like Sniper, he's swinging at Ray first, the character who didn't swing. So that tends to lead you down the path of what ways of removing her does he have, like a Sniper Dark Strike. It certainly wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility to play two Sniper Dark Strikes in a deck like this that's relying on this marker sight and weapons from lightsabers. Good possibility of taking multiple characters out multiple times over the course of several battles. Ray will swing back. Vader's not as without his lightsaber. He's defense. He doesn't get the defense value bonus. See if that makes a difference. Nope, wouldn't have made a difference. He'd still be hit. But now we'll find out. Does he have the sorry about the mess? He could still. Oh, he lost a clash earlier, I believe. But he could still clash after Maul swings again. Okay, he does have the sorry about the mess. That will make Vader lost. See if there's a sense. That'd be a good time for one. Nope. That's going to flip back. Luke immediately rejoins the battle. No force retrieval for Rey. Now Maul's got to pay one to swing because of Luke's text kicking in. Not a big problem. Because unlike the last game, there's no draw their fire on the table to keep him from then playing interrupts. And with the plus ones, he easily hits Luke. So it'll still be a full clear of all the light side characters. Very likely to use Emperor's Power in the situation to add an extra battle destiny. He's going to need all the help he can get. He's down 10 power right now. Oh, yeah, no, sure, no problem. It's weird watching you, listen to you type in the chat and answer things back based on what I'm talking, and your opponent's like, what are you talking about? Oh, light side's got a smoke screen, so that's going to be a 6 for Destiny, so it's definitely going to get rid of Maul. Maul forfeits for what, 7? This Maul goes for 8, so he's covering 15 right now, so he's down 8. He's getting 2 Destiny draws here, so probably not going to take more than 1 or 2 in overflow here, but it'll just be everybody's dead. Oh, and he draws 9, so he's not actually even taking any overflow. Maul will cover all the damage. There's no Phantom Menace out or anything, so he's not immune. Everybody dies. And this was Lightside's turn and Lightside's battle, so Darkside will get the opportunity to re-establish their third marker. And they'll have to do it without Vader's lightsaber for the rest of the game, because that is stolen. Now, it'd be really funny as if he played Grievous, stole the lightsaber back, and then had Grievous hand it back to Vader. And we got a Resilience. Who's he going to get? Take Obi? Take Rey? Probably take Obi. Yep. Rey's added benefit is the retrieval, which you're not getting because you're not going to occupy 2 battlegrounds. There's only 1 battleground site and probably doesn't have any more space after the Tantive died. So you might as well take Obi then, who's got one higher defense value, and I think one extra forfeit. I think Ray's a 5/7. Yeah. Now, of course, the advantages that Lightside has is they can deploy Luke from the lost pile with the text I'm bringing before me. So if Butters doesn't have, it's getting a little thin on characters, Lightside can just redeploy Luke out of the lost pile there. And again, doesn't pull battle order, doesn't pull battle plan. That's going to be the death of Corran in this game, I think, might be that battle, not pulling battle plan as a shield. He's literally not doing any force draining. Hasn't force drained once this entire game, as far as we can tell. And his opponent, on several occasions, has drained for free that he should have had to pay for. So, Kendall, if you watch this later, you may not, but if somebody watching tells you, Kendall, pull battle plan. Well, it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt him. In this situation, yes, but you're constantly battling him off the ground. There were times where he had guys at the ground. Oh, he lost a force to try to deploy the lightsaber, which doesn't work because it's in Lightside's lost pile. And Kendall will let him revert that. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this Monday night. And we don't have the most exciting games to watch, but at least we're seeing things we don't necessarily see all the time, which is good. We haven't seen Gungans in a while. Bring them before me. It pops up in different variations from time to time. We got to see a little bit of Tig earlier. It'd be nice to see Tig versus Bring Him Before Me, right? Who can cross who first? Alright, so we got Vader and Tarkin. Tarkin adds a destiny with Vader instead of drawing if unable to otherwise. So that gets you 2 destiny, and again, Emperor's Power for a possible 3rd destiny. If you're Corran here and you're wondering, I don't know what he's got in his hand. We know he's got Obi in hand. The question would be would Obi be enough? Even if he swings and hits Vader and then draws Destiny and clears Tarkin, it's still 11-5. He's down 6 power, and we just said his opponent could outdraw him 3-1 for Battle Destinies. Obi's only going to cover 8 up to 13, so you're giving up quite a little bit there. Oh, he does have another ship. He's got a Profundity. Who does he have to put on the Profundity? He's got Gold Leader and Gold 1. Okay, so he had several ships. Now we'll have to see what pilots he has. Gold Leader and Gold 1 not necessarily doing a whole lot here because he did save the Force. So he will have at least 1 Force to spend to be able to draw. There's a Hera. But it will limit him to 1 draw. You can't use Emperor's Power to get a 2nd Destiny. So there's that. Okay. Oh, when he's got to draw their fire. That's going to make this a little bit more difficult. I'll have one force loss to take. He's not going to be able to retrieve because of coward. And Hera does get a second destiny draw because she's with an Imperial. Thrawn covers what, 6? Yeah, he covers 6. The downside of playing 12 card, you don't always have a way to check your destiny draws. I guess he could have tried to deploy a Gungan to see what he had working there. He's going to get exactly 6, which is not just going to clear Thrawn. Darkside will pay for its 1 destiny draw. Thrawn covers 6. 4 gets him to 12, so it's Thrawn and A card. And because of the way he deployed his guys here, it seems like Kendall's only in a situation to lose profundity. Ideally, I think I would have preferred those guys, Hera on the profundity, because then you can keep that, and it's a lot higher power, and then just forfeit the gold leader. It's going to be your opponent's turn. If you were worried about needing to have higher forfeit, in case obviously he drew higher than a 4, this way makes more sense. Because obviously if he draws a 5 or higher, then you either have to lose Hera or the ship. And if he wants to keep Hera, this is the way to do it. We haven't really seen a lot. I mean, we've seen a number of draw. Butters hasn't drawn a lot of high destiny this game. So I would have almost been inclined just to risk it. Worst case scenario, maybe just lose Hera and keep the 2 ships. But oh, we get to see your destiny kick in at the beginning of the turn because Luke isn't on the table. Vader present at a battleground site. Start of your turn. Opponent loses 3 force unless Luke is captured, out of play, or present at a battleground site. So by not deploying Luke last turn and by going to space, he has to eat 3 force loss right here. And there goes Obi, Wisa, and he top decks a Bith Shuffle. Now he's also going to get drained on top of that. For 2 more. And Kendall just kind of running out of steam here. There goes the Qui-Gon off the top and a Ray from hand. We'll see if Butter has... Oh, he's got a Zuckuss and Mist Hunter, which is just as good. I was about to say we'll see if he has any other pilots to put on Jabba Space Cruiser. Instead, he's got Zuckuss, who's actually better. Um, oh, no, 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 no. Oh. Oh. He had 4 force remaining. Now he's got 1. Which means that 1 force should be spent battling. Which means now he can't draw Battle Destiny because of Gold Leader and Gold 1's text. If he doesn't deploy Min Kun, he's got 3 extra force to play with here. He can battle. He can either pitch the effect or top deck 1 and then pay to draw 2 Destiny and try and clear this whole thing. Obviously, he can look for something with Crush to see what these cards are, to figure out what the right way to go there is. And he's now just realizing he did not do that optimally. Well, according to him, he says, I didn't do that right at all. I'm going to agree with you. You did not do that right at all. Yep. So now he basically has to pass and not battle. And then the best case scenario is, well, the only option Kendall would have would be to land, because there's no other system to move away to. Light side could battle you. You pay 1 to draw your destiny. They've only got 5 abilities, so they would need, and there's no other spots on this, so they would need a 4th ship in this deck to really do anything about it. It really probably just prolongs the agony one more turn. But I don't know that there's really anything else Corran's going to have left. He's down to 2 cards in hand, 11 force left face down. At this point, he's basically going to activate, maybe just pull Luke from his lost pile so he doesn't eat the 3 damage from your destiny and make his opponent lose a force. But beyond that, doesn't look like there's a whole lot he could do. And Obi's going to go on a suicide run. Hey, he's finally getting around Coward, though. He's got 2 battle rounds. So Draw Their Fire will actually allow him to retrieve a card this turn. But Kendall did not have a way to check his destiny again. Could have looked for a Gungan, right, with Boss Nass, to see if he even had a prayer of hitting Vader here. He's only defense value 6 right now. That's a start. All right, that'll do it. What's that last card in his hand? Is it a Sorry About the Mess? It is not a Sorry About the Mess. All right, so Tarkin's going to add a Destiny because he does that with Vader. You should Emperor's Power as well, possibly. Again, it's 11 to 5. Obi covers up to 13. We talked about this before. I would probably add the Destiny here. You can pitch the effect. You don't have to top deck the card to do it. And there's a third 5. Changing the odds. It's always a fun card. I wish that one was as easy to pull as Podracer Collision is for Darkside. If you just verified opponent's reserve deck, search that reserve deck and place 1 interrupt found there out of play. If opponent just drew Battle Destiny, subtract 1 from that Destiny is the other part of it. Or Destiny for White House Chance Cube, so you can screw with White House Chance Cube in that one matchup. Alright, so he draws a 2 and a 4. That gets him to 17. Stack a card. If he had lost a force, he would have lost the 2. And he could have drawn the 4 and the next 2 cards, which we won't know what those are. We don't have like a whole cam or go rabbit hunting, if you will. But everybody dies on the ground. He will not have to take the damage from your destiny because Vader's not at a battleground site. But now we're back to the space predicament, and he is just going to land. The only thing he can do is land. Otherwise, he basically just invites his opponent to battle him and retrieve force would draw their fire. If you're in a situation where your differential matters, if it's a match play top eight kind of thing, or just the MPC or another match play format event where differential would matter, this is the right way to do it. Make your opponent take some time, spend that extra force trying to grind out those last couple of cards. But in a standard strength of schedule format, you're just going to make him not even pay to drain. You're just going to make him drain you one card at a time. And then we'll see. He's got 3 cards left in hand. Are any of them characters? He's got a Maul, and he can lose the effect here to get Maul's lightsaber back, which he will. The not knowing what this card is, this one card, he can deploy Luke from the lost pile. Alright, he had Maul and Dr. E in a 3-card hand. I think that's game over. So, Butter could have won this game 2 or 3 different times along the way. He's still going to get there, thankfully for him. Those are always the worst when you completely bollocks something up and you just kick yourself about it afterwards. Like, why did I do that? That was so stupid. I should have just done this, and I would have won that game like 5 turns ago. We all rush things. We all make mistakes. Even the best will admit it. They may not admit it, but nobody plays a perfect game of Star Wars. It's like tennis. Sometimes you've got errors, and sometimes you've got unforced errors. Don't make the unforced errors. Alright, Corran's going to go ahead and scoop this, as he's out of gas here. Nothing left to do. It's all academic. But thanks, guys, for letting us hop in and observe your game a little bit. Get to call some action. And hopefully you both take away a few things from this if you watch the show. Why wouldn't you watch the show? My show's usually pretty good. Today's an off day for me. I'm feeling a little worn out. This damn PC store is draining all my energy. But I am going to wrap up the show because I got to get back to work. But thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We'll see you back here next Monday. We'll talk more about, hopefully we'll have some more exciting games. And obviously if you have any interesting games this week, be sure to send me the game links. Love to review them and see what we can learn together. But thanks for tuning in. Have a great week and take care. And the force be with you.